Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the herd. It is a very cold December day, just 16 degrees outside, but we got a big update right off the bat. This is the final version of the map just released, and that meant that we had to reset the whole save. We got some work ahead of us, so let's jump right on in. Let's first come on over here and take a look at the cows and check on how they are doing with their feed and bedding. And like I said, I had to go through everything again because the realism mod for the livestock, I just couldn't quite figure out how to transfer stuff over. So everything is kind of back to normal. Some of you animals, some of you members might be a little bit older or younger, but that's what we had to deal with, and we're just going to have to go with it. But it looks like we have about just shy of 7,600 liters of straw in the pen here, so that's good. They've got plenty of bedding to lay down and keep warm. And it looks like they are going through the alfalfa like it's candy. So got to get these little guys growing and strong so that way we can produce one of the best herds in the county. So everybody over here is doing just fine. Just kind of take a quick look. Everybody's looking fine. Nobody is, there's actually not even a bull old enough, I think, at this point in time to even, get us any baby calves on our way. Yeah, no, we're sitting here, so basically we're just got to wait a couple more months for a couple of these cows to get a little bit older, and then hopefully we can start getting a couple calves on their way. Let's head on back to our truck, and let's take a look at the pigs that we have in the hog barn. So as you can see, everything is back to normal for the most part. Like I said, some of you guys are maybe a little bit older, maybe a little younger, but let's take a look and see what we have for the animals here. And would you see that? Dockwood is expecting 12 babies. Nice. Due on 4/10 of 26. This is amazing. So we're going to have 12 baby piglets running around in here very, very shortly. This is the boar. McRib, I'm sorry. You can't have any babies right now. Where did the other one go? Which one are we missing here? All right, and this is Peppa Pig. And would you look at that? She's expecting 12 babies as well. And she's due a little bit sooner. February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. So not too terribly long, a couple months away. We're going to have, we're going to have 24 little piglets running around. And so I'm going to need your guys' help because we need some more people that want to become pigs rather than cows all the time. So, we got 24 spots that are going to be coming up hopefully very soon, hopefully, as long as everything goes good. If you guys want to help out with naming the pigs, you get your name in here with the potential of joining the herd. And I'll leave a link down below. That way you guys can join the herd channel in the Discord, and you guys can be a part of the herd series. With that being said, we need to start talking about last episode. So the fields are back to normal for the most part. They might look a little bit cleaner. They might be a little bit, not 100% what it looked like, but like I said, we are on the complete final version of this map. So like I said, a lot of things kind of had to get changed and reset back up, but we did pull ourselves off of this field 37 straw bales. I placed them up along the shed back here because that was kind of the only spot that I could think of at this point in time to get them, but there should be about 27 of them sitting right there, and we got the other 10 on the trailer already ready to get sold at the co-op, because as you guys can see, there's only just over $8,000 in our bank account, and that's not going to get us very far in this series if we continue to run with a low bank account like we have right now. Get that all strapped up, and things are ready to rock and roll. So let's head on over to the co-op and get this stuff sold and see what kind of money we can get made off of these 10 bales. All right, we're pulling up into the co-op, and I think where we got to go is up here. Yes, up here by the bin site up here. There's a little bale cell section. Yeah, right up here next to this pole up here. So let's get this stuff backed up and get it ready so that way we can sell it and see what kind of money we're going to make off of these 10 bales. All right, so let's see what we get for selling these stuff here. And we got a whopping $3,634. Now, that's not really pushing us too terribly far in the bank account there, but what do you guys think? What if we sold some more corn stock bales? What if we sold maybe another 10 of those? I know it's not much, but it's going to kind of help pad the pocketbook a little bit because, like I said, we only got $11,700 right now. And there's a lot more things that still need to be done here around on the farm. And that brings me up to the next thing that we have done on this farm that is trying to involve you guys, the community, a little bit more in the series. And that is, we ran a poll over on YouTube asking if we should lease a ripper, buy a ripper, or just leave the field as is and deal with it later. And the majority of you guys here, as you guys can see as I pop this up on the screen, the majority of you guys said, let's lease a ripper. So we're going to go drop this thing off back up in the yard, head on over to the dealership and pick up our plow, or AKA ripper, that we decided that we're going to lease. So let's go get that stuff picked up and brought back to the farmyard because we got a lot of field work to be done. Well, the poll results were completely clear on how you guys wanted to handle this, and we have caught our eyes here on a John Deere 2700 5-shank disc ripper. It's got a 3 meter, which is roughly 10 feet, and it takes 210 horsepower. Now, this is where it comes in nice that we're going to lease this because this thing is going to would cost us $21,500, and as you can see, we do not have that amount of money in our bank account. So by leasing this ripper, it's only going to cost us roughly $1,000-ish. And with that being said, let's get that thing leased and you gotta get hooked up to it here. Boy, that truck is dirty. This thing needs a washing. So I think it was completely worth leasing this ripper because we could not justify ourselves for the $21,000 to be able to buy this ripper. I think you guys made a good choice on leasing this sucker, but let's get this thing hooked up and brought back to the farm and hit the fields. All right, out here in the cornfield, this is about 18 acres, and we only got a 10-foot ripper, so that's going to take us a little while to get done. Now, while we're out here, I want to start thinking about a little bit of next year's planting. That soybean field that we picked a couple episodes back for sure is going to go back into corn, but now the question is, will that field be enough as it's only 10 acres? I don't think that it will because we're going to have to get enough chaff off that field to fill that silo bunker. We're also going to have enough corn to be able to feed our pigs and to sell some to get a little bit of extra cash crop. So that brings us back to this big field. If we plant this all in soybeans, that's not going to benefit us in the long run, I don't think. So what I am thinking is if we break the field up, 1/3 alfalfa, 1/3 soybeans, and then the other third corn. That way we get the hay crop, we get a little bit of a cash crop, and still have enough corn for chopping and harvesting. But I would like to know what you guys think about that down in the comments down below. Or how would you go about doing this if it was your farm? Well, we're still ripping, and I've had plenty of time to think about our next dilemma that we have here on the farm, and that's going to be, how do we want to handle the wet corn that is in the bin and the amount of money that we have in our bank account? So on this final version, No Creek has changed it to where we can actually remove wet corn out of the bins and we don't have to dry it. If we were to sell that wet corn right now in December, we're only going to get about $460 a bushel compared to drying it and selling it in January when it's going to be closer to that $600 a bushel. But that also means that we got to buy the propane, and we're not sitting on a pile of cash to do so. So what would you do? Would you guys sell some of that wet corn just to stay afloat, or hold off, dry it down for the better payday? Let me know what you would do down in the comments down below, and we might have to make that decision in the next episode. Well, not a bad day today. We got those bales sold, this ripper leased, and made a solid dent in this cornfield, but that sky is starting to look a little sketchy. Looking into the forecast, the snow's not too terribly far off, and once that hits, we're going to have to figure out how to keep this operation moving. We got 24 piglets on the way, and we got some corn decisions to make, and a lot more prep before spring comes. Thank you for hanging out today. If you got any thoughts on the cornfield split and the wet corn, or just want to name a piglet, hit the comments below or join the Discord. I'll see you in episode 6, probably with some snow on the ground and a whole lot more of challenges ahead.